Hello guys, Chris here and welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce RTX 3050 8GB GPU because it's the desktop version of the cards in Remnant 2. It's gonna get wrecked, guys. So this one is the Gigabyte Eagle model of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers, and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power Ups GPU Z. It says 1.1 right there because there's nothing 3D on screen. If that is, it goes up to 4.0. Resizable bar is also enabled. And over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 7 5800X 3D and 32 gigabytes of RAM to avoid CPU bottlenecks. Let's get into it, shall we? And here we are, dropping down into the 30s already, back into the 40s. But I think it drops into like the mid-30s sometimes. Yeah, 36, 37. Not terrible. You know, it's 30 plus FPS all of the time, at least in this area, which means like that 90% of the maps will perform a little bit better than this. But there is a single map that I've come across so far, at least, that is more intensive than that area back there. So we gotta check that out. And if you guys haven't guessed, I am playing at 1080p low settings. It doesn't go lower than this, unless you use some upscalers, which are needed for this game apparently. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. Ooh, side boob. What is happening here? What are we doing? Hello? I just joined the server in the far woods, which is the map that I wanted to play, and this happened. Well, not that I'm complaining, you know, but okay. Finally, we're here. This is the far woods. Yes, it's the most intensive map. Okay, it's been like 17 minutes of me waiting to actually join a decent server. Anyway, here we are getting lower 30s already. You know, we already saw like 32 or whatever it was in this side of the bridge right here, right? Yep, 32. There we go. So it can get way more intensive than the other little area where we started. This is kind of terrible performance, you know. I think it will drop into the 20s, actually. How crazy is that, dude? The 1080p low settings experience in a 2023 title running on a GPU that released early last year in 2022. This is from January or February. Yeah, it's struggling without DLSS, of course. With DLSS, it's going to be a way different story, I hope at least, because the developers say that they built the game with upscalers in mind. You can feel that the shooting mechanics don't feel right at all at 30 FPS. It's pretty clunky, you know. Oh my god, did I actually miss that first shot? I'm not even sure. Guys, where are you? I need your help. Thank you. Okay. I'm terrible at this. There we go. So I sucked with the RTX 4080 playing this. I died a lot. Mainly because the game is too hard. Yeah, if I sucked with the 4080, well, don't expect much here with this one. Okay. Good thing is, at least so far, it's held up. All right. At 30 plus, it only touched like, what, 30 or 31 FPS minimum. And we're already here in the root nexus, which is pretty intensive because a lot of... You gotta be kidding me, dude. I spent 17 minutes waiting for this to load the map that I wanted. And when we were finally in the game, it crashed. It freaking crashed. Like, this is occurring in pretty much every video where I test Remnant 2. Also, if you're wondering, this is a different map. It's the Forbidden Grove. The previous one was the Far Woods, and it runs way better. As you can see, like 50 frames per second. So it will depend on the map. I'm just testing like worst case scenario here. But it can still drop into the 30s, as you can see. And we aren't even seeing a ton of enemies. Well, we aren't even seeing enemies at all. So we're back to the Far Woods. It's been 35 minutes of me waiting, refreshing the map pool just to get this map over here. But we got this, my friends. Sorry for the little noises, but everything is adjusted right now. We're still at 1080p low settings, and you can see that it's still very crappy performance, you know, for a shooting type of title like this one. You actually kind of require fast reactions sometimes, so this is not good performance at all. It hasn't dropped from 30, but nah, okay, this is not for me. Let's go ahead and enable that upscaler, which it actually defaults to performance, and I'm probably going to test performance in a little bit, but first of all, let's try quality DLSS. And this bumps up our performance to around 50-ish frames per second, apparently, with some drops into the 40s, as you can see. Yep, so no more drops into the 30s, probably. That's quite decent, and it's a really nice bump in performance by the use of the upscaler. Again, because the developers say that they built the game with upscalers in mind. But what they should have said is, we didn't give a crap about optimization, so tough luck. If you don't use upscalers, you're gonna have an unplayable experience in like 70% of the PCs out there. But well, with DLSS, things are not really that stable, of course. Stable would be like 60 FPS flat all of the time. But it is a lot better than 30s, that is for sure. I can sort of flick around and so on, you know. Now, does the game look good at low settings in 1080p and quality DLSS? Yeah, it actually does. I wish there was like a very low settings preset if you really wanted like native resolutions with 60 plus FPS, or in the case of the 3050, like quality DLSS with 60 plus FPS, because it's not possible yet. But well, it is what it is. There are still some people defending this game's performance for some reason. The only good thing that I can find in the performance segment of this game is that it doesn't stutter too much. So there's that. There are games that are way less playable with higher FPS because they just stutter and stutter and stutter. This one doesn't suffer from those issues. You can see the 1% lows are pretty respectable there compared to the averages. So at the very least, there's that. I'm gonna stop it there, and we're gonna do some balanced DLSS this time, okay? It still looks pretty decent, not gonna lie, you know. You can see a little bit more shimmering, a little bit of maybe ghosting sometimes around the bushes. That's pretty noticeable, some motion blur-ish looking ghosting. And now we're getting like 70s, 60s at times, but it still does drop by quite a bit, especially when you're looking at some vegetation. You know, yeah, 50-ish FPS right there. It's a little bit more stable, though, I'll give it that. I can probably shoot things and aim at things a little bit better with around 60 FPS than with around 50 FPS, so that's great. Yeah. Let's go shotgun. Oh, no. Okay. Up. Yeah, God, why are the swords so terrible in this game? Oh, hello. Up. Come on. No. All right, we got this. I'm just gonna run. Okay, we're good. Let's try performance DLSS, which is what this game defaults to. It's not really that big of a difference, is it? I mean, maybe it stays above 60 FPS most of the time now. All right, ooh, so many. No. How did the thing hit me? I shot him first before he got to me. Still hits me. Dude, can you help? Oh, boy. What the hell? All right. There are some big things over here. Well, we're doing something. Performance DLSS isn't too terrible. FPS are already dropping by quite a bit, though, from 60. Still kind of the same experience, honestly. I'm gonna heal myself. All right. There we go. Good idea, buddy. In moving targets, at the distance especially, you can see a lot of ghosting and motion blur because of DLSS performance, but it's not the worst performance DLSS implementation that I've ever seen, honestly. It's actually pretty close to balanced. It's just a little bit more shimmery, and at the distance it looks a bit worse, but I guess if you're playing on like a 24-inch 1080p monitor, it won't look too bad using these settings. The time it takes to reload is just insane in this one as well. Anyway, gameplay-wise, it's alright. A lot of people are actually enjoying this game and the story and so on, the quests. It seems to be fine and enjoyable. It's just that the performance puts me off by a lot. Alright, let's move on to ultra performance. At this point, the game is rendering at an extremely low resolution, but we can get 60 plus all of the time, I guess, since we're already seeing like 80 plus, touching 90 at times. That's pretty good, but yeah, now it's looking really rough, guys. It's very shimmery, it has a lot of visual artifacts, a lot of ghosting in objects near you as well. So this is definitely not good. It's a little bit of an explosion. I think we're gonna go ahead and try like performance DLSS with medium settings, because I could still play with performance DLSS, honestly. And since this map is way less intensive than the Far Woods, it's actually getting more FPS. So I think we will need to leave this boy behind, my friends, unfortunately. Okay, back into the Far Woods. We're spectating now. Gotta wait until they revive us, but the FPS are exactly the same. Getting 50s, and sometimes it touches 60s. It's not too different, is it, from like balanced DLSS and low settings? And it actually does look a little bit better using these settings right now, so I think maybe they were spot on with the recommended settings for the 3050, because when I first started the game, it selected medium settings with performance DLSS at 1080p by default. So yeah, seems reasonable, you know, for a 60-ish FPS average in one of the most intensive areas in the game. And performance DLSS, again, doesn't really look terrible at 1080p resolution. I mean, I would much rather play with quality, but with quality DLSS, as we'll see in just a little bit when I respawn and can change the settings, because for some reason you can't change the settings while you're spectating. It is gonna stay below 60 FPS pretty much the entire time. Actually, first let's try it without DLSS, okay? Come on. God damn it, just disable it. Thank you. Ooh, yeah. Oh boy. Oh, so 1080p native medium settings. This is it. Ah, it's so bad. It's so bad. It is really terrible. I think the guys are shooting at me and setting me on fire. But okay, absolutely terrible. So let's not do this anymore. Performance is definitely way better. Balanced DLSS. All right, 50. So we lose about 10 FPS compared to performance, I guess. Let's go. Kill the root nexus. Let's go, guys. We got this. We got this. 40s, 50s. If you want a little bit more sharper visuals, come on, come on, come on. Oh boy, oh boy. No, 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 no. All right, kill the things, kill the things. Oh, that's right, that's right. I am playing this on the medium difficulty this time, because I couldn't find any games in this map on the easiest difficulty. So we're gonna be screwed completely. But anyway, this is a little bit sharper than the performance for sure, a little bit less shimmery as well. Alright, 1080p medium with quality DLSS. This is the last thing that I'm gonna test here, okay? Because high settings give you marginally better graphics, you know, it's not really that noticeable, the difference between medium and high. And it's way more intensive again, so you're gonna lose like 5 to 10 more frames per second if you play on high settings instead of medium, even with DLSS and so on. And hey, quality DLSS is not as bad as I expected. It's not really dropping into the 30s that often. I thought it was gonna stay in the mid-30s most of the time with this. Alright, this is gonna be it, guys. The last fight of the video. We're probably all gonna die right now with this next wave of enemies. I'm out of ammo on the shotgun. No! No, that's terrible. Alright, I think we're just gonna sword this thing. Since we're still alive, why not try out high settings, okay? Let's go. High with like... I'm gonna do performance DLSS right away on high. This might be playable. Yeah, it is playable. 40-something frames per second. Again, it's not what you want, probably. Oh my god. Oh, we're all gonna die again. Come on, I'm gonna revive this guy. Let's go. Oh no! Oh, I can do this! Oh, there's a big boy right there. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? We both died. We all died. Right, that's Remnant 2 on the medium difficulty for you. I'm just really curious. Let's disable DLSS on high. Woo! Woo! Low 20s. Low 20s is what you get. What about Ultra? This is just for fun at this point. We already found that medium settings is the way to go, probably. Ultra settings, native resolution, 22, 21. I am already dead. Jesus, how are we supposed to do this? 19 FPS. Alright, guys, they saved me. I will try it with performance DLSS and ultra settings. Oh, it's still very rough in the 30s. port is going up by a lot, actually. But the thing that I've seen in the comments that a lot of people don't get is that the fact that it is playable with like performance DLSS and even ultra settings with performance DLSS does not mean that this is good performance. Okay, it's playable, it's okay, but the performance is terrible for what it is. When I hear about an Unreal Engine 5 title that is like the most intensive thing that we've ever seen without ray tracing enabled, I don't think of these graphics, you know. Alright guys, that's been it for this one. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I hope it was informative. Let me know if you will buy this game with an RTX 3050. Again, I think you shouldn't, but it is playable after all. So yeah, gonna stop it there since we died. Catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.